Welcome back to Web Cafe AI. We do daily ChatGPT and AI videos for your personal and business life. And in today's video, we have a very special one here. We're going to do a full-blown mini course here on how to start and build out a AI automated agency. Now, the reasoning that we are creating this mini course is due to a plethora of reasons. One being that many of our subscribers have requested it, as there is not a lot of readily available information when it comes to creating an AI automated agency. Furthermore, what we have realized is that the content that currently exists around this topic that is found on YouTube is not sufficient enough at providing you actually practical data and skills that are required to create an agency. Therefore, that is why we've created this mini course today. So make sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe. Now, we are structuring today's video as 10 main modules. Each one of these modules is going to be packed with a lot of information on the topic of AI automation agencies and how we are going to approach them when creating one and trying to get our first client. Throughout this mini course, we're going to give you a ton of valuable information, such as the softwares we use here at Web Cafe AI, powerful Excel sheets that allow you to calculate your bottom line, and more information on how to approach clients and different strategies when it comes to payment plans. Okay, I hope you are ready. Let's jump into the first module, which is going to be who we are and what even is Web Cafe AI. We here at Web Cafe AI are an AI automation agency ourselves, and we have educated businesses and other AI automation agencies across industries when it comes to integrating this technology, as we see the value it proposes when lowering costs and increasing productivity. Therefore, all the information you receive on this topic and all the different strategies that we propose have been tried and tested, and you can be with certainty that they are valuable insights when it comes to this industry. So make sure to subscribe. Right now, our statistics lay about around 80% people are unsubscribed, 20% of people are. So hit that subscribe button, as you're actually getting real insight when it comes to developing and building out an AI automated agency. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our second module of this mini course, which is going to be market analysis. We're going to go ahead and get an idea of where we're entering into with this new market niche and how to best approach it. Therefore, let's get a general idea of where AI is heading towards when it comes to market share. As we see from this chart, based off Grandview Research, we have a growth of 38.1% year over year, with a projected number of around $1.81 trillion. So there is plenty of pie left to grab here. You don't have to worry about thinking this is an oversaturated market. Remember, ChatGPT and AI came out like 8 months ago. We still have a ton of opportunity when it comes to really integrating AI automation with different businesses. And more specifically, we're going to be targeting businesses that are small to mid-size. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, great. I see that there is potential when it comes to AI. I see that the market share is increasing over time, which is always great. You want to enter an industry at its inception rather near its demise. For example, in the 90s, travel agents was a dying industry due to the fact of internet connection, and you didn't necessarily have to book with a physical person anymore and do the internet and connecting the different worlds. But in this context, we can really look at, the 5 major benefits of why starting an AI automation agency now is going to be really, proactive in this year. This being increased efficiency, cost saving, improved accuracy, faster results, and scalability. There's going to be a lot of attractive selling points that you can sell to a business when you're trying to put AI automation in their back end. And as you see through this mini course, you're going to be able to find out strategies on how to do so. But for now, all you really need to understand is that AI automation, if you really get down to what it truly means, is essentially you're taking the position of what an employee would have traditionally done. Now, why is removing an employee such a beneficial thing to an AI automation agency? Is because that becomes one of your biggest selling points to these businesses, due to the fact that when they remove an employee, not only is that going to be more cost effective long term and going to be able to structure their business better when it comes to cash flow, but think of all the things entailed when it comes to a business hiring an employee, whether that is going to be constant communication when it comes to coming into work or employee assurance associated with that individual. Now that we know some of the benefits of what AI automation agencies can do, let's go and see how we're going to essentially approach the pie of businesses that currently exist within the United States. This comes from the statistics of the U.S. Small Business Administration. And as you see here, 25% of businesses are small businesses, while 35% are going to be medium-sized businesses. The best way to enter this market and really get your hands in the mud is going to be first approaching small businesses. Why is that important? due to the fact that one, new small businesses typically are more cash strapped. Therefore, they don't have a lot of money to spend on extra employees or an extra labor. Therefore, if your pitch when approaching these different small businesses is as simple as, hey, I know you have all this workload, and I know the most valuable thing to you is time. We provide a service of AI automation where instead of hiring maybe that secretary, we can get an AI chatbot to handle everything that you need to incur on a day-to-day process. Once you get the ins and outs of working with a couple of these small businesses and trying to make partnerships with these small businesses, as we learn later in this mini course, you will see the benefits of essentially being able to then take the already pre-made formulas that you have for AI automation and being able to apply that to a larger scale. Now that we understand what businesses are in our market and which businesses are probably best suited for a brand new AI automated agency, we must jump into our next module here, which is going to be module 3. And essentially, we're going to identify a niche that best aligns with the type of services you want to provide. So let's go ahead and see some broad categories by businesses of different ways AI automation can be applied to it. Just to move my head real quick, we got content creation there and finance there as well. But the idea essentially is this. Every single one of these sections, AI automation can be applied to. There's just different ways you can apply the flows to that specific area of business. Just to name off a few, customer service. You can structure AI automations that essentially take an inquiry from a potential customer that has an issue with a product and then have that AI automation pre-fed with data about that business to respond to that email. Let's take it one step further. What if that customer keeps responding to the email and then it gets to a point where maybe you need a human involved? You could set up a trigger and a flow where essentially if it gets over 3 emails in the chain, you'll be notified by email or by text to essentially, check in and see what that customer is going through. Another example for legal is the ability to set up statement of works in legal contracts. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're dealing with a service agency that their way of conversion is getting in a video call, and then post call, they send them a contract with a statement of work outlining that what was discussed in that call. What you can do now with AI automation is you can get the whole transcription of that call. And once you have the whole transcription of that call, we can use OpenAI and ChatGPT to summarize that call, find the identifiable statement of work based off the context that we gave AI, and then push that statement of work of what is going to be expected in the contract towards a already pre-built contract in, let's say, PandaDoc, and then have that sent automatically by email to the potential client to really streamline the process of onboarding a new client. Now, one last example we can give here is the ability for content creation. This is a huge one when it comes to AI automation. The ability to create captions, automatically do tweets, and so on. One of our favorites here at Web Cafe AI is the ability to do AI article generation, giving you the ability to put out really high quality content that is AI generated, and you could set that up to once a day, twice a day, and so on. This is a great starting point for a service you could sell to small businesses like, hey, we'll be able to integrate AI automated articles in order to increase your SEO and traffic conversion. Now that you kind of get an idea of all the different categories associated with business, what we encourage here at Web Cafe AI is really narrowing down and starting with one of these specific categories. For example, maybe you're an AI automated agency that is specific for content creation. That is your bread and butter. So when you approach every single business, you're able to really give them your expertise and understanding of this topic rather than being a jack of all trades and trying to be every single one of these outlined here. Just laser into one. It's always better to be a sharp knife rather than a broad fishnet if you don't have the workforce yet. Once you made your decision on the category that you want to do, understand how to approach these businesses. And it really is this simple. Identify a problem when it comes to the specific business. So in the context of a content creation AI automation agency, maybe your specific problem is cost associated with article generation, or the problem for the business is that they're not even doing article generation and there is no copywriter currently on their team. Therefore, you can go and approach them and like, hey, we have a cost-effective solution for you. We're going to do AI article generation. We're going to build that in your backend. And essentially now you'll be able to generate articles on a specific topic in a specific niche of your area. And this will get you more viewership and more ethos as a business. Now that we understand how to find our niche, what to do with our niche, and essentially ways to approach clients with that niche, let's go ahead and find out different ways we can structure payment methods when dealing with clients. When dealing with payment methods, that is going to be make or break when creating an AI automated agency. When looking at ways to approach clients, there are going to be three main ways you can approach a client. Either that's going to be subscription based, a one-time fee, or an hourly rate. Let's go ahead and start with the top of the chart here, which is going to be subscription based. And essentially the idea behind this is you're going to build out that AI automation, and then you're going to have a reoccurring charge on that business for XYZ reason. And these reasons could be anything. So these could be potential upsells. We have a maintenance package. So maybe you do a subscription of $100 a month to maintain maintenance if a Zapier ever went down. You have an optimization package. So maybe when a new model of GPT comes out, or new updates come out to AI that allows you to do more intuitive stuff, you will do that automatically for them because they're already a part of your subscription service. So then you also have the ability to do training packages. So maybe you charge them monthly for the ability to train them on new things about AI, or they have 2 hours of your time every month, but they just pay a recurring fee. Another one is going to be priority support. So maybe structure something rather than a maintenance and optimizing package, you just do it as a $150 a month fee for priority support. So if they ever run into issues with their AI automation, they can directly contact you, and then you can help them fix whatever issues occur. Now, another way to approach a client could be possibly a one-time fee. This can be in pair with an upsell as well, but typically the way this works is going to be on the complexity and the expected time spend that you are going to see. So for example, if you know that it's going to take you maybe a couple hours to integrate it, so you could probably charge a lesser price. Just to give you some context here, currently the hourly rate when it comes to AI automation is going to be between $150 to $250. Do with that information what you must, but for now, essentially, when you approach a client, sometimes it's better to softball them and approach them essentially with a one-time fee, so they feel more inclined to do business with you and a little bit not as hesitant if it was a subscription fee upfront. Another method is to give that one-time fee, and if they ask for future repairs or optimizations, then give an hourly rate that you find attractive for whatever you personally feel your labor should be associated with that time. And from there, essentially, because of the fact that they maybe didn't do the subscription model for that maintenance or optimization package, you're still taking in the money, but just at a higher rate that you would have traditionally taken it if it was just through the subscription fee. So you might be asking yourself, okay, Corbin, which one should I choose? It really just depends to your opinion. I personally believe that if you want to get your feet wet, start with a one-time fee. Just understand the process of onboarding a client, understand everything entailed with dealing with a client, build out their AI automation, get comfortable. Once you get comfortable with handling clients and understanding everything, the time entailed of building out AI automations and so on, then you can maybe move it up a little, cream the crop a little bit, and do subscription services rather than one-off fees, therefore, giving you more of a recurring model rather than a one-time fee model. Perfect. So now that you know different ways you can charge clients, let's look into what processor you should use. And I will hands down say this, it's going to be Stripe. That is going to be your best option when it comes to payment processing. They have one of the better customer services when it comes to this kind of context. And what's really good about Stripe, and once you really get an idea of AI automation, is how much access we have to their backend. Now you might be asking yourself, what do you mean by that, Corbin? What I mean by that essentially is that Stripe integrates flawlessly with Zapier, and what you'll notice is Stripe gives you access to a ton of their API calls, which allows you to access a ton of stuff if it was required in the future. Why this helps you is that when you scale and you need to do more stuff when it comes to maybe setting up a payment method that's connected to a contract through PandaDoc, and then you can automatically onboard a client, you're going to want to use something like this. So you don't have to manually make the invoice. You don't have to manually make the subscription. You don't have to manually make the hourly fee. A lot of this stuff can be automated using Stripe's backend, which is an amazing tool. And here's the best part. It is completely free. There's no monthly subscription, just a transaction fee. Perfect. So now you know the payment processor to use and the different ways you can approach a client when it comes to payment. Let's jump into the next module of this course, which is going to be software, which is pretty important because this is going to give you the ability to understand everything associated with building an AI automation agency and the ability to access pre-built AI automations that you can start selling to clients right away. So I went ahead and listed out the top 6 pieces of software that you need to start using. And it is as follows. Right under me is gonna be Basecamp. This could be any CRM, but obviously we got number 1, we got Zapier. This is gonna allow you to build out the automations for your clients and for your own backend as a business. Number 2, we got OpenAI. Self-explanatory. This is what's going to give you access to that attractive AI that we've seen so often. Number 3 is going to be Google. This should be self-explanatory as well. As you may already know, Google has a plethora of different things that you have access to for completely free, such as Excel, Google Drive, Google Presentation, and so on. It's a great platform. The next one is going to be some sort of CRM. This could be Slack. Here at WebCafe AI, we use Basecamp. We like the way that you can kind of use it for manual triggers in AI automation flows, which you'll learn more on other parts of our YouTube channel and so on. The next one you're going to want to use here is going to be PandaDoc for 2 reasons. The first one is that you can access its API for AI automation flows. And the second reason is that it's completely free to start with. And then lastly, our bread and butter for payment processors is going to be Stripe. And we already know why we love that here at WebCafe AI. Overall, what you're looking at here is for a free plan. You could technically start for free for Zapier, but assuming you want to start on the lowest tier, you're looking at $20 a month for Zapier. OpenAI is a usage basis. Google, completely free. Basecamp, if you get it on a deal, it could be free. If you don't, you're looking at $12 a month. PandaDoc, completely free. Stripe, completely free. All right, so now you might be saying, okay, great. You gave me all the software that's involved with an AI automation agency. Now, how do I connect the dots and really understand how to leverage this software so I can start making money in my service agency? And we have a couple of methods here at WebCafe AI. The first one, which you're probably familiar with, is just self-education. Just understand how to use a platform here. And if you look to the left of me, we have a playlist dedicated to essentially approaching all 5,000 as found on Zapier and seeing how AI can integrate with every single one. As you see here, if you haven't already seen this video below, I highly encourage to watch it after the video, as you're going to be able to see how to set up a Zapier account from scratch and set up an OpenAI account from scratch and connect the two and really understand the functionality between those 2 different platforms. But for now, if you jump to this playlist, we go over a ton of stuff when it comes to AI automation and using different softwares such as Cynthia, Twitter, YouTube, Google Slides, Pinterest, Instagram, and so on. Every single one of these tutorials is packed with information, and you'll learn something new in every single one of these tutorials, therefore allowing you to really start understanding how to build out AI automations and start helping and making money off your different clients. So that is step number 1 to really leveraging and understanding how to start an AI automation agency is self-educating yourself. Step number 2 is we offer a marketplace when it comes to AI automations that are pre-built that you can start using directly in your own business or for client businesses. Now, this is a big deal. Essentially, what this allows you to do is get access to pre-built AI automations that you can start selling to clients right now and start building in your own backend. So we went ahead and checked out what AI automations exist now. If we jump to one, for example, the AI article generator, essentially you can get context of what it is. You'll be able to get the amount of Zapier tasks per run, the amount of OpenAI token usage, and the license type. So in the context of running an AI automation agency, your license type would be a commercial license, which will then give you the ability to essentially sell this as a service within your AI automation agency. So in theory, you were to approach that small business that doesn't have article generation yet. You now have the service built out for you, and you'll be able to integrate it into their backend right away for whatever price you want to charge. I encourage you to check out this marketplace. Make sure to bookmark it, as this is really going to give you your ability to build out a bunch of different services that can apply to a bunch of different businesses. Because now with a commercial license, you'll essentially have the ability to pitch multiple services to a business rather than 1 or 2. You may have a 10 to 20 catalog that you can pitch to businesses and start integrating into their backend right away. Now that you know the software entailed for creating an AI automation agency, where to get free education, and where to get pre-built AI automated solutions that you can start selling to clients, let's jump into the next module here, which is going to be powerful tools to start using on your AI automation agency. with the first one being replicate.com. We find this as a pretty fundamental and powerful tool due to the fact that it essentially gives you access to different AI models and collections that will allow you to perform different tasks that you may need for your clients or your personal business without paying an upfront subscription fee, rather a usage-based fee. Now, you might be asking yourself, how would replicate.com be helpful in the context of an AI automation agency? It is helpful in a plethora of ways. This is a great resource to search when it comes to different tools. So if I were to type in product here, we could use a tool, for example, that would be able to grab a image like this and then give a bunch of different backgrounds. There is another one here that we really like using, which is an image up resolution. The tool we're specifically referring to is, if you come down here, it goes by category, and I go to super resolution is the first option here. And this is a great tool to really upscale images that may be low quality. As with running any business, you're going to want to create promotional material, PDFs, and so on. This is a great tool to scour through and really get the ability to jump into different AI models where traditionally you may have to pay for 5 different services. Like maybe there was a service that paid $10 a month and you can upscale your images and so on. This tool allows you to essentially use all these different models on a usage basis, if I can speak today. And essentially the context of what we're doing with here, you're looking at like fractions of pennies to run one of these models. So it's very cost effective. Now, the next tool here, we all know and love, and I think this was an obvious choice for a powerful tool that's going to be required in an AI automation agency, and that's just going to be simply ChatGPT. Let's go ahead and jump over to ChatGPT and show some powerful ways we can use it. So we here at Web Cafe AI encourage you not only to use the API for ChatGPT, but also the actual front-end UI for ChatGPT due to a plethora of reasons. One being the ability to access plugins is huge. So as you see here, from Web Cafe AI, the top plugins that we're personally using are going to be Ask Your PDF, Stack Overflow Plus, Webpilot, and Zapier. Now, each one of these plugins have their different use case when it comes to a AI automation agency. We like using Ask Your PDF in the context of if we do a custom legal contract with a client, we can kind of scour through that contract fast and find the specific points that we're looking for. We use Stack Overflow Plus in the context of needing help with coding if it comes to API calls or webhooks or different contexts when it comes to more complex AI automations and we need more help in that area. We use Webpilot to really scour data when it comes to websites or businesses we deal with, as Webpilot gives you access directly to different URLs you input, and this can be very valuable. Think of it this way. Imagine you were doing work for a client and you needed to contextualize information and fine-tune a specific ChatGPT block in Zapier in order to give specific answers that are important or relevant in that context. Now with Webpilot, what you can do essentially is enable that plugin, find the business's website, maybe find their FAQ, input the link to the FAQ, ask ChatGPT to summarize it and structure it, and essentially input that as a fine-tuning model for that ChatGPT block, therefore expediting your work. And then I think it's self-explanatory why we got Zapier as a plugin as well. Now, beyond all the use cases that we outlined there for the plugins provided in this tutorial, we think ChatGPT Plus is just an important tool in general. Think of it like the calculator for math. Using ChatGPT Plus and using it with correct structuring, correct prompt engineering, you're going to be able to expedite a lot of the work that you need to do for your business. If you're interested in more about ChatGPT's front end and the UI, check out our other playlists on this as we dive into more important stuff when it comes to just ChatGPT rather than AI automation. Now, the next most important tool that we see for AI automation agencies is going to be botbrew.io. Essentially, what this is going to give you the ability to do is that if you're down on manpower, think of this as an expert in a lot of different categories, allowing you to leverage your time and get more effective answers when it comes to communicating and generating with AI. The BotBrew platform itself is made up of 2 main categories. It's going to be baristas.ai and espressos.ai. Baristas.ai are engineered chatbots by our team here by Web Cafe AI that allow you to achieve a lot more effectiveness when communicating with AI. And Espressos AI are input fields that essentially allow you to get outputs that are more effective than the traditional ChatGPT method. Looking at baristas.ai, you get access to a ton of fine-tuned pre-engineered bots, such as the ebook bot or the business strategy bot. You can really leverage this tool and expedite your time when communicating with AI. Jumping over to the espresso.ai, you're able to get access to a ton of pre-built prompts that essentially are going to give you the ability to get better outputs, such as a ranking espresso. So in this context, you would just input your service agency and you'll be able to get a ton of different hashtag blocks associated with what you're trying to approach, or a keyword espresso with inputting your service agency there as well. We are going to be launching something very, very cool on this platform soon. So make sure to get involved here. It is completely free to start. Okay. So now that we've gone over the powerful tools that you can start using in your AI automation agency, let's look at the next most important thing, which is going to be your website. And that is why in module 7, we have dedicated this entire module to your website and understanding what platforms you use and why it's so fundamental to have a good website. There are a couple platforms you can use when developing a website, but just to give you a handful, we have Webflow, Weebly, Squarespace, WordPress. I'm aware that currently Weebly and WordPress are free, but here at WebCafe AI, we would encourage you to start with Webflow. This is going to give you really highly effective UI templates that are going to look very attractive to prospective clients and are very easy to build on. And as it says down there, in web design, simplicity drives conversions. Less is more. And this runs true. The less information you have on a potential landing page usually correlates with a better converting landing page due to the fact that a lot of people don't want to sit there and read a couple chapters of a book. They want to get a general gist of what they're buying. They want to know where they're going and essentially have an idea of how to contact or convert on that potential service. Just to show you how powerful Webflow is, let's go ahead and just search through their templates and understand one you could choose that would be very effective for the use case of an AI automation agency. So once you have a Webflow account, just to give you a little bit of a disclaimer here, it costs $18 a month. You can go ahead and come over to templates. And in the context of what we're doing here, we can do something as simple as service and essentially get access to a ton of different templates that would be able to be effective for what we're trying to achieve here. So as a business, what I would suggest you to do is really scour through these, find one that fits well. And what's great about Webflow is the ability to really understand what you're looking at and what you're buying before you even have to press, buy and convert on that potential template. Simply clicking a template, previewing in browser, you'll be able to get a great idea on the ability that it has when it comes to a specific UI. I mean, this one right here already looks really, really nice. I mean, imagine essentially taking this template here, setting up a 3 starter pack, and then just branding this as an AI automation agency with the services of the different AI automations that you have in your backend readily available here. Okay, so now you understand the software associated with building out a website. We highly encourage using a UI like Webflow, as this is going to encourage higher conversion. When an individual goes to your site, finds the area to input their email for a contact information, you'll be more likely to get a conversion and lead on a better looking site than a site that looks like it was built in a day. Okay, so we've been throwing a bunch of numbers at you, different softwares, different prices, different monthly subscriptions. That is why in our next module, let's actually calculate how much it would cost to start an AI automation agency so you know what you're getting into. This Excel can be found in the description down below, completely free to use. So go ahead and copy it into your own drive. But let's go ahead and jump over to this Excel and play with the numbers a little. Okay, so we went ahead and structured the default Excel at the most bottom tier of what you can do to start an AI automation agency. We want to be as transparent with you as possible so you don't feel like you're getting clickbaited and being like, oh, why wasn't this just $0 a month? In reality, to run a business, it's going to cost money, but to make money, you got to spend money. So as you see from our Excel sheet here, we kind of outlined everything that should be associated with running an AI automation agency. First, starting with Webflow and their lowest tier, which is going to be $18 a month. Then Basecamp, which is going to be your CRM. This could be Slack as well. Essentially where you're going to onboard clients, have communication with clients, and really have better structuring and formatting with clients. The next being Zapier, obviously. It's going to be $20 a month. Following this, there is an optional one here called Google Console. You might be asking yourself, what is Google Console in this context? That is what's going to allow you to put a domain at the end of your email. So rather than, AI automation pandas at gmail.com, it says AI automation pandas at pandaai.com, right? A little bit more professional, more ability to really talk to clients and have that extra level of ethos. Now looking into the next section here, you have Calendly. Calendly is completely free to start. This is going to give you the ability to schedule calls with clients easily so that when they jump in the call, it's already structured to your timeline and you don't necessarily have to go through the process of manually creating a call. Rather, Calendarly's nice UIs can be able to automatically create that scheduled event. The next service that we outlined here was chatgpt. With all the reasons we've described earlier in this mini course, that's going to be $20 a month. So next we have Bopbrew, and the value we see in Bopbrew is its ability to handle a lot of tasks that would have otherwise been associated with your time, and its ability to be an expert in a lot of different fields, giving you the ability to really get answers fast and get outputs fast when it comes to AI. Following this, you have Stripe, which is going to be $0 a month and just a transaction fee. Next, we have PandaDoc, completely free. This is going to allow you to put legal contracts in the cloud that you create when you get a first client. You want to have a preset, pre-built contract with that client that's going to be accessed in the cloud and digitally signature. Finally, we added one last section here called variable cost. This is where you're going to put in the cost per month that you don't necessarily have to spend money on, but may incur. For example, if you were to spend $100 in Google Ads, simply pressing in $100 now increases your month to $195. I'm going to put 0 there. Now, all these different rows you can edit. For example, let's say we increase our plan to 39. Now it comes down to, okay, we're spending $115 a month, and annually that would be 1.4K. Let's go ahead and bring that back down. So at a base level, if you wanted to start an AI automation agency and essentially know how much money you're going to be putting down a month, it's going to be $96. Annually, that's going to be 1.151. But to be honest with you, it's just going to be $96. Therefore, the math you have to do in your head essentially is that in 30 days, can you make more than $96 off a potential first client? Following this, we have OpenAI usage, and a great way to calculate this is once you get your first monthly bill and your second one, kind of give a average of what's expected for you. So maybe on AI usage, you spend $30 a month. You can input that there. Next, we have the Web Cafe AI Marketplace. That is where you can purchase pre-built AI automations. And maybe you want to do a one-off, buy the article generator, have that as a one-off for the month, and then essentially next month you want to pay again because it's a one-time fee. Following this, we also have training courses here at Web Cafe AI. So if you want to learn more in depth about specific topics such as YouTube, Instagram, or business, we also do course material on that. So maybe a variable cost for 1 month was you paid X amount for different course material to learn more about AI automation and how to apply that for AI automation agencies. As I said before, go and find this Excel in the description below, play around with the numbers, see what your costs would be if you added higher plans or lower plans, and so on. Okay, so now that we know how to calculate our bottom line per month when it comes to running an AI automation agency, let's find out how the cost would be associated at scale. That is why in Module 9, we're going to be looking at scaling costs and essentially understanding if we build out an AI automation, how much would it cost if it were to run 100 times, 50 times, or 25 times? In order to do so, we're going to use our AI automation calculator found on our marketplace. To find our AI automation calculator, all you need to do is go to our marketplace, webcafesoftware.com, come up here to AI usage, and as you see, I'm going to move my head right here, we have it right here. So we're going to do a quick little trial run here to get an idea of how this calculator works. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on AI automation when it comes to scale, check out this video right here as we dive into a very specific example and go over all the things associated with finding cost, such as the ChatGPT token usage and the Zapier plan cost. For now though, we're going to go ahead and assume we're on the plan that costs $133 per month, which equates to around 0.026 cents per task. And we'll go ahead and start by entering that into here. Next, we're going to assume that we're using the model of GPT-4. And finally, let's go ahead and find out how many tasks per run or the tokens per run for the specific AI automation we're referring to. To do so, let's go ahead and look up an example right now. So we're going to use our AI email responder here. And as you see, it costs around 5 tasks and 500 tokens per run. Coming back over here, we can go ahead and put the number of tasks, which is going to be 5, and the tokens, which is going to be 500. And all we have to do is press calculate. And as you see there, we got our AI cost, our Zapier cost, and our total cost. And it is broken down by the different metrics, with the total being 16 cents. Let's go ahead and see at scale what it would come out to. So perfect. So as you see from 86 runs, it comes out to $14.06, with $2.58 being AI cost and $11.48 being Zapier cost. This can be a very powerful tool when building out AI automations, as now you understand, for example, let's say you build out an AI automation that costs like $1 per run. That's probably going to be too costly, and you may want to reapproach the way you're formatting, how many blocks you're using, how many chatgpt blocks you're using, and so on. Fantastic. You have made it to the end of this mini course of really understanding everything that is entailed with running an AI automation agency, with the software involved, the costs involved, and powerful tools you can start leveraging right away. If you made it all this way, I want to say thank you, as that really helps us here at Web Cafe AI. If you felt like you learned something, make sure to like the video. It's completely free and it helps us on our journey here as an AI automation agency. We are providing a ton of education to businesses and AI automation agencies on how to integrate AI into their backend. So make sure to subscribe, as you're going to be able to stay tuned with a ton of new content coming out that's going to help you leverage the ability to use AI automation in your backend, or maybe for clients' backends. If you made it this far, we're going to go ahead and reward you with a special tip. So everyone that clicked off won't even hear about this. And the tip is this: when you're dealing with a business and needing to understand the best way AI automation can apply to that business, it is always great to visualize it. So I would say either a whiteboard or a piece of paper. You can either do this personally or have the client do this and draw out 2 buckets. And then on top of those buckets, draw out a box. In that box, you're going to want to ask the client or yourself to essentially write out every single thing that is involved with running their business, all the way from accounting to posting on social media, everything involved, all the labor associated with running that business. Once you have that in that little box there, you're going to have 2 buckets. One bucket is going to be can be done with AI automation. The other bucket is going to be needs manual attention. From there, essentially, start dragging and dropping the different labor tasks associated with the business into those buckets. Sooner or later, it's going to come out to a level of maybe 60% could be AI automated and 40% still need manual attention. What's so great about that is that once that 60% is AI automated, that saves a bunch of time for the business, saves a bunch of money for the business, and all in all, saves a bunch of the business owner's ability to leverage their mind elsewhere in the business. That's it here at Web Cafe AI. Now, if you want to learn about more of the technical side of AI automation, check out the video coming up at the end here, as you're going to be able to understand how to build out a Zapier account, build out an OpenAI usage account, understand how to connect the APIs with the secret keys, and so on. So I encourage you to check out that video at the end of this video. And also, we have our playlist at the end of this video, which is going to be that playlist I was referring to earlier, which is where we are approaching all 5,000 apps found on Zapier's backend and seeing how AI can be approached with every single one. But without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for tuning in. And yes, surprise, I'm an AI avatar. Make sure to explore more here at Web Cafe, where we demystify AI for your personal and business life. Until next time.